Crime Book Club. We are currently discussing beverages. Nothing to see here. Moving along. Congratulations, Donna Morfett, on the publication day, the disappearance of Peter Markham. So let's see if we can trying to kind of show everyone the cover, which is gorgeous. I love fire.
Although to be fair, I think probably pretty much everyone on Facebook's seen it today.
No, probably not.
I think it's
I think it's out there a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a smidge. Right. Excuse me again. While I tag everyone, introduce yourself, and even though I've already introduced you, and tell everybody a little bit about the book.
Okay, so I'm Donna Morfett. Most people probably know me anyway, but I've been blogging, I've set up my own events, and now I've written a book called The Disappearance of Peter Markham. This is a police procedural with D.I. Cora Smithson and her two DCs, Marcy and Luke. Literally just keep saying them because I couldn't remember their names, just in case anyone wonders. I will have to read it and find them. A prominent businessman goes missing. When they investigate, they discover that he's not the man that he portrays himself to be, and they start to wonder if the reason he's gone missing is revenge.
So one of the things that you do discuss is, well, you have the team discussing, is the three kind of possible reasons for him to go missing. And I enjoyed that discussion. Tell us a bit about writing that.
I think because I was thinking through it as a writer, I was thinking, well, the police will, and it's something that they do anyway, I think, is try and think through. I mean, generally when someone goes missing, there's only a few reasons anyway, especially maybe for a man, is usually, because they're seeing someone else or there's money involved. I can't remember what the other one is. But, so you sort of think, well, what's most likely? And I thought, well, if I write it down, then the reader's following me as well, as I'm thinking about it, and then obviously as Paul about it in her team.
Excuse me, we've got hellos already, so I'll get to those in a sec. But Will Templeton has just said, I've completely forgotten what his comment was. Good luck, can't stop, got to go to work. So he's like literally out the door. We've got a few hellos already. So Dan was the first one. And we've got Leslie and Steve. Hello, Steve.
Oh, hi, Steve. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Dan. Leslie said yes.
You really should have grabbed your cider out the fridge.
Yeah, no, I regret it now. It's fine. I'll get it after. I'll just down it. I think I'll put gin as well, actually.
Nice. So how has today been for you? Because I know technically you've had a publication day before because of Cassie, and we'll get to Cassie as well. But how has today been for you? Because this is brand new for you.
It's been mental, but in the nicest way. Like, I swear my phone's going to melt because I had all day. I've had to charge it because it got down to like 20%. And I was just like, and even my new boss was one of the first people to message me. See, she said she said it was some thing that they do daily, some like, I don't know what. She sent me a picture. I was like, okay, thanks. But I think I started getting messages about 7 this morning, and it just has not stopped. And then I took over Linda Checkley's group as well, so I've been doing that all day. But it's been amazing, and everyone's been so lovely. And how I haven't cried yet, I don't know.
Oh, I think we'll get there. We'll get there by the end of this.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've loved every second of it.
And you've blooming earned it. No, the thing is, for anybody watching who doesn't know you, and it can't be many people left now, you are a huge supporter of authors. We kind of started around the same time, I think, didn't we, in the pandemic? Lockdown, looking for ways to stay sane. We didn't find any of those, but we did find some great books.
Yeah, I think we're more insane now, possibly, than we were then, but...
Yeah, I reckon so. Right, so because of all the authors that you know, all the books you've read, you read all kinds of different things, don't you? You don't just read crime.
Yeah.
I mainly stick to crime fiction. I try and read other things when I can, but like you, I read for the interviews. So I I've gone off on a tangent now and really thrown myself off because I'm just so chuffed to have you here for publication day. What made you decide to go with A, crime, and B, police procedural? Because you've read so much, you're so well informed of the, various genres, lots of different things going on. At what point did you go, right, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to brutally murder someone in a book?
That was the first thing.
Of course it was.
So then it was always going to be crime. But although I do read other stuff, crime's what I know. And when I had David Mark as a mentor, and one of the first things he said when he read it is, "You're such a student of crime fiction. It's like you haven't had any training in writing, but because you've read so much, so it was always going to be crime fiction, always."
I'm going to hold up, seeing as you've mentioned Marco. It's an older one, but this is one of my favourite David Mark books. It might be my favourite David Mark book. This is my signed copy of The Guest House. So if we're going to be talking about Marco, there you go, little signed book. So we're going to talk about him. We have to at least show off one book. And you had to run around the house, so you're not anywhere near any e-books, are you? Because before we went live, I lost you about 3 times. But now, let's not jinx it.
Yeah.
So why police procedural?
I think what it was is I had the idea that I wanted to kill someone. That was the first idea. That's all I had. And then I was like, yeah, that's not a book. Then I'm like, I need to fill the pages. I need to fill the story. So I was like, well, the police investigation would do that. And then I could kind of have, the killer and the death. And then the police investigate. And then that's the story. And then actually I kind of grew to like the characters the more that I wrote them. So yeah, that was why really.
I really like Cora. So Cora Snitton, DI, it's basically her series that you're writing. So you're spending a lot of time with this woman. And at the very beginning of the book, I was thinking, okay, she's borderline rude. Like, she's not rude, but she's she's very likable straight off. You still like her. But I couldn't decide which side of the fence she was going to come down on. And actually what I realised is she's just very straight-laced. She's a lot of fun as well. She's got a bit of a wicked sense of humour underneath all of the trying to do things by the book and keep everyone on the team because she's brand new to the team. She wants to keep everyone happy and she's looking out for who she thinks is going to be a good fit for her. So we'll come to Darcy in a minute. So you must have had some fun crafting Cora.
Yeah, actually, I originally started off with her being ruder and more strict, and I'm like, it doesn't work. She's got to have a softer side. She can't be completely off with everyone because, yeah, it just doesn't work. No one's going to get on with her, and then it's just going to be really horrible to read. So I had to make her softer anyway. But yeah, it was fun.
And obviously, first full-length book. Is this the first one you've written, or is the one hiding in a drawer somewhere?
No, first one I've written.
That's what I thought from when we talked about it, but then I wasn't certain. We've talked at a lot of different festivals. We've had chats in Messenger. We've bumped into each other in places. We've gone for food and drinks. We've had a lot of chats, and it all kind of, you forget all of the details, don't you? When you talk to so many authors, you just kind of get confused. Like, can I really say that person said that, or was that somebody else? So you're building like a gorgeous team for the series. That's got to be as fun as it is daunting, thinking about kind of where you might want them to go in the future and how you can handle that in this book, because you've committed to the series, you lunatic.
It was different. I like to be different, but yeah, I don't know what I've let myself do. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. I better go back and look at the comments because you are not going to see the comments. Shamila Ahmed says hello. Trevor Belshaw says hello. Sarah Blackburn. Leslie's asking, have you started on book 2 yet? I was going to get to that in a bit, Leslie, but we'll ask now.
I haven't started on book 2 of the series, but I have started on a book 2.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because my brain I didn't have any good enough ideas to do a next in a series, and I
Mm.
had this idea for another book, and I was like, I did actually start writing it as a follow-up, and I'm like, no, this isn't working. So I took all the characters out and started again, and it works as a standalone, so that's what it will be.
Just clicking on Facebook on my phone because, oh, Marie said hello as well, Dan's mum.
Oh,
Marie, I've not spoken to you for ages. I'm just looking, oh, Hilly. Hi guys, well done Donna, I'm well into your book and loving it, which is always nice.
it is nice.
Mills, you've just got loads of love hearts in a row from Mills.
Oh, I love you.
Simon Walton, you must be so proud, Donna.
I am.
Tony Millington, hello everyone, congratulations, Donna.
Hi, Tony.
Mills cried for you. She was just so happy.
She is. I want to meet her and give her a massive hug.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Yes.
Definitely on the list. Sarah Blackburn, she's sorry for missing tonight, but you know why. Happy publication day and have a great evening.
Oh, yeah, it's her wedding anniversary, so it's all right, I suppose. I let her off this once.
Yeah, she's pretty good at always being there for us. So it's you're allowed a night off, Sarah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just one. Like don't
Yeah.
go nuts, but just the one.
Yeah.
So you started writing book 2.
Yeah.
And you how are you coping with being interviewed when you're normally the interviewer?
Okay, so far. It's fine, I think.
You sat on the wrong side, I know. That's what we were talking about before we went live.
To be fair, it's been the weirdest day. So this is just like the end of the weirdest day in my whole life ever. So it's fine.
Did you learn anything with writing book 1 that is helping you with book 2?
Book 2 has been the hardest book to write, and
How far in it?
About 56,000 words.
Whoa.
Yeah, so but I have been writing it for a while, but it just feels like really dragging it out. And I know now how I want it to end roughly, I think. But I've got the idea for how I want to start the next one. So like I really want to get started on the follow up to this one, and I can't because I know that if I stop writing this one, I'll never pick it up again. And that is in the back of my mind as well. But
yeah,
it's been really difficult. And also I wrote the first one completely out of order. I wrote the chapters that were fun first, and then I sort of filled them in. Whereas this one, I'm trying to write chronologically because doing that and then putting it together was an absolute pain in the arse. So I think maybe that's why as well.
So you've learned something about your process as a writer?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
Because you must have heard every single way of putting a book together that there is.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're all different. I still even going to Crime Fest last weekend, and everyone does it differently, even after all the authors I spoke to and heard, and still they're different. It's mental. There can't be that many different ways to write a book, and yet there are.
It does surprise me, no matter what you pick up, there's always something different about it. Even if some of the ideas end up being the same, because how can they not be?
Yeah.
Excuse me. The actual writer putting their voice on it is a completely different thing. How was that for you, finding your voice?
I was worried that I was just mimicking the people that I've read. So it wasn't until I got people to read it and they said, you know, that you've got your voice. You know, there's a little way that you can change it to make it grammatically and sound better. But yeah, I was worried, really worried that I was just copying everything I've ever read. But thankfully, I don't think that was an issue.
No, definitely not. 56,000 words in book 2. Can you tell us what, I've not asked anybody this for ages, can you tell us what the last scene you wrote was without giving any spoilers for the book?
Ooh. So I'm getting to a bit of I'll try, but it's getting to a bit of a sort of an important bit. But it's tentatively called 8, and I had the idea that I don't know. I worry about my brain that the 8 people are standing around a dead body on the floor. this person they'd just killed, it was one of them at one time, and it was a mistake to kill them. So then the book follows the story as the 8, sort of how you find out how they joined this group and what they do. And then there's they need to deal with another one of the 8, so they're poking around their house, and they've found out a couple of their secrets. So that's the last thing that I wrote.
Secrets are fascinating when it comes to crime fiction. Like, I try not to be nosy, but I think that's why I love crime fiction, because you really can be nosy in the book.
Yeah.
You know, you're just interested in everything. You try not to overhear things, but you end up picking up snippets of conversations and all of that kind of stuff. Excuse me. Has anything like that gone in? Because I have noticed that you've got. We'll go to names of characters in a minute. Little things that I've picked up on that would be impossible not to when we know a lot of the same people. So,
there is one Sam Brownlee in this one.
in the second one, you did threaten me with that.
Oh, there is.
I dread to think what you're going to have her doing.
Oh, yeah, you'll find out. It's fun. It's great fun.
There was something I wanted to ask you about book 1, but I wanted to ask you before we went online, so I'll have to ask you afterwards now. And anyone who's read the book who wants to know what I was going to ask can message me, but I can't ask it on here because it'd be a huge spoiler. So we're not touching that. One of the things I really liked, and we know from the blurb that Peter Markham was killed quite early on. You know, it's we're looking at a whodunit and a whydunit, aren't we? All kind of rolled into one. I really like the fact that you're such a tease. You had the killer tell Peter who they were and why he had to die, and then you made us all wait. Which I absolutely love. That was such a Morfett thing to do.
Yeah, I love that as well. I was like,
I was like, when you kind of go like, right, rubbing my hands together, we get into the bit now. They're going to tell him, oh, there's a paragraph, right? She's moved on. Okay. I can just imagine you chuckling as you wrote it, like evil glee.
well, I mean, maybe when I wrote it, they were after each other, and then I was like, oh, actually, I could put that there and then that like there. And that's much more fun.
But yeah, you seem to you can tell you had a lot of fun writing it. There are some cracking lines in it and things that really made me chuckle. I wanted to ask you about your degree, because obviously that must have come in handy. So for anyone who doesn't know, tell us what you did at uni.
I have a degree in forensic science.
Not a bad thing to have as a crime writer.
No, actually, weirdly a hindrance, because when I was writing his death, I'd written there was no way that the police could find anything, because I know how to do it and not get caught. So then I go back and think, well, actually, they're going to need to find something, because otherwise they're never going to catch her. They're never going to be able to find her. So that's why like they find something, and then I thought, oh, there's something else. So they've got 2 little things that they can cling on to, and then that's why another bit came in later on to sort of create a little bit of confusion with DNA and stuff. But I was like, yeah, they've got nothing, so I'm going to have to put something. Otherwise, they've got nothing to go on. So it was more of a hindrance, weirdly.
We've got some more comments. So Joe Singleton, evening all, double trouble on our screens. Hi, Joe. Shamila would like you to sign her copy, Capital Crime or Harrogate.
Yep, no worries.
And Trevor wants his, he's putting off reading it until he gets the signed copy in Leeds.
Okay, if I have any by then. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Trevor, let us know if you're bringing it with you to Leeds, or if you're hoping that Donna's going to have one. Give us a clue. Tell us what's happening. Would you fancy using your degree for any other reason alongside writing?
What I really, really would like to do is teach it. I'd love to teach adults some of the practical stuff, but some of the psychological stuff, the stuff that I enjoyed, the science, hell no, someone else can teach that. But I'd love to have classes doing like the footprint analysis and the fingerprint analysis, and even like extracting DNA and doing gel electrophoresis because I wasn't too bad.
I'm sorry, doing gel electrophoresis. Okay, and
have you ever seen?
For the ones with the in the back with the cheap seats, tell us what that means.
It's extracting DNA and it creates bars. Have you ever seen like really old, dodgy looking black and white pictures that look like a bit like bar graphs? That's basically, but it's DNA. Yeah. So, but you can compare them and stuff, and then obviously it's not definite, but you can see if a DNA profile matches, that if they look the same, if the bars are in the same place, it's the same person. Roughly.
Must have been fascinating. And then choosing how much to add into your book as well must be, you know, when you are such an expert in a subject as you are, you know, you've got a degree in it, knowing what to put in, what to just kind of drip in a little bit and what to hold back on, that must have been quite a task just in its own.
Yeah, and then obviously I've got future books where I can use different stuff as well. So I knew that I could sort of maybe use this in this one and then the next one. Something that I loved, can't remember what they're called now, damn it. Diatoms. There was something called diatoms, which is to do with drowning. And that was one of my favourite subjects in my degree. And obviously there's no drowning, so I can't use it, but I am so going to use them in a book because I love them. So yeah, so in one of the future books, someone's going to drown. There we go. The diatoms.
It's nice that you found different things that fascinate you from doing a course, because there must have been so much information to take in as well.
So much science, so much chemistry. And, you know, I didn't care about the chemistry because it had been a long time since I've been at school, and I don't think I really cared then. And I just couldn't force my brain to care now. I'm just like, and it changed. They had these little line things, and everyone else was drawing these little line things, and I'm like, no idea. So yeah,
just trying to get the rest of the comments up here. So we've got Malcolm's with me in the cheap seats. I'm going to need some lessons. And he says, well done, Donna, proud of you.
Oh, bless him.
Sharon's here, just an absolute genius of a woman, she says.
She never comes to these.
She doesn't know, that's a good point. She can't not do, she's your best mate.
Well, she could, but it's fine. My wife.
Philip Jordan wants to say congratulations and best of luck tonight. Now you're in the other side of the interview, and he'll be catching up later. One of the things that made me laugh, which is the reason I asked you if there's anything else you wanted to do with your degree, was there's a line in, and I wrote it down so that I could actually quote the line, and it's in chapter 15, and the line is, I'm no chicken, come on, let's poke it. Now, you can't go to a crime scene if you want to poke the bodies, Donna.
And I know that, and obviously they don't.
What, do you know one of those things you read it and you're like, it really like gets you?
Yeah. And as I was writing, I was thinking, can you even imagine, like, yeah, but obviously they're kids. They're, you know, want to poke at their body, of course.
Yeah, me and you are never going walking through the woods together because it can't end well. If we stumble across something, you'll be saying, go on, poke it, and I'll be like, right, okay, full of bravado, right, I'll do it then, I'll poke it, it's fine.
We would as well. If it was us two, we so would. Like,
no, we wouldn't. We'd be cordoning off the scene and herding people away, and you'd be having a little look round and taking photos, and no, we'd be far too organised, and I think that'd be good because it'd keep us out of trouble.
Yes,
Can't go poking stuff. Kate Bendelow would not have it. Graham with his police voice.
Yeah, but Graham, who read my book early on, who knows I based it on someone real, said to me, I hope he reads it and I hope he looks over his shoulder for the rest of his life. I was like, Graham, you're ex-police. You shouldn't have said that. I was really shocked.
Excuse me.
I was like, well, yeah, I mean, so do I, but I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, my word. Somebody mentioned festivals, though. A couple of people have said they're going to ask you to sign things. So, where are you going to be in the coming months?
So I'll be at Capital Crime, then I'll be at Leeds, then I'll be at Harrogate, I'll also be at Bloody Scotland and Chiltern Kills and Shoreham.
Packing it all in. I can't do Shoreham this year because it coincides with a birthday.
Yeah.
I can't move away from. So at some point, I was at Chiltern Kills. Which one's in October?
They both are. Chiltern is at the beginning and Shoreham's at the end-ish.
It's Shoreham. Yeah. It was when Kaz was talking to William the other night I realised what date it was this year. Never get to go anywhere, mate. You're gallivanting about the place. I love it.
Don't have children. It's awesome. You can do whatever you to be worried about, but honestly, yes.
I'm still laughing at the come on, let's poke it. Right. There's a scene where they find the body. I don't think this is a spoiler because we know there's a body before you even start reading. You're aware that somebody dies right at the beginning. So if anybody's eating, forgive me, but I'm kind of intrigued and I'm surprised that I'm as fascinated as I am by the decay and the bugs. So the people, I'm just going to stick with people, genderless people who find the body. They stumble upon it by accident because they can hear this kind of buzzing, and then obviously as we get closer to the body, you describe, you know, there's maggots and things, and I wanted to know what the stages of decay are because how old are I want to know the process of the flies and the maggots basically, which you would not think that I'd be intrigued by because this is the kind of thing that makes me gag. But I really enjoyed the scene and I wanted to know more about it.
I can't remember the exact timings, but flies can smell death within minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I think it's
okay. So really quick, Claire.
Yeah, I think it's blowflies. And then obviously they land on the body and they start laying their eggs. But they look for the open areas, so nose, ears, and then at the same time your body is decaying from the inside your stomach because of the acid, because there's nothing to stop it anymore. Then the acid starts.
Right.
Yeah. And then obviously, so whatever they can reach, so because he's laying on his back, then you know he's got his ears. So then they start burrowing into, and then obviously the maggots start growing and they grow their life cycle. But there's a few life cycles because flies keep coming and going, and different types of flies come as well. So yeah, it would be pretty grim by the time they found out, I'd imagine, because it would just be because it starts opening because the body decays, and obviously the maggots are underneath, so they're eating the skin and the flesh. So yeah, it's pretty grim.
So there's a constant kind of, sorry for anyone who's eating, I'm fascinated. So you'd have the flies, the maggots would pupate or whatever it is they do, and then you'd still have more flies, and it'd be a constant thing. There'd be new flies and new maggots, and it just
eventually they do die off, but usually by then it's pretty much gone anyway. So, but yeah, they do eventually go and leave.
So did you see some of that in action, as it were, on your course?
No, possibly because of the pandemic.
Of course. That must have had actually a big impact on your learning.
Yeah, it did. The reason I went to uni was because I knew that I'd really struggled to motivate myself to learn at home. And then the end of the second year and the whole third year, I had to learn at home. So, but my dissertation was on bugs, and we were supposed to go to a field and collect them and find different ways of and see what different bugs were there and stuff. So obviously, yeah, I didn't get that practical experience, which was a shame. I think actually as well because it snowed. But so yeah, it did impact massively. So it's lots. Yeah, and watch lots.
I wonder if you could go back and just kind of say to the uni, look, these are the bits I missed. Going to sit in on a class about bugs because they fascinate me.
Well, the two of my lecturers have asked for a book. So yeah,
no,
I think they will. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So I hope the friends
Sorry,
it's hold off by the lecturers.
I think as long as you don't poke stuff, you'll be fine. Okay, so there are a lot of comments. I thought I'd found the bottom, but I haven't. Okay. or like the end of, where I was up to before. Leslie Ray, how are you doing, Donna? All the luck in the world, my friend. Sharon's laughing at us. That could be any bit of it. Goodness only knows.
Yeah.
Tony Millington says Professor Morfett, I presume. Love it.
Yeah.
Malcolm's saying Donna, organised.
You could go on.
Joe's saying we'd both be in the bar. Joe, have you met us? You would never find us in a bar. There is no lager in my fabulous mug that my friend sent me. We've got Guy saying evening. Amy and Christy are here. Alex Hawley says, congratulations, Donna. Tell us what scares you. And Malcolm's written, obviously nothing.
The most banal thing scares me, and that is the dentist drill. I was once sitting in the waiting room of the dentist, and I could hear the drill. I'm very, very nearly got it. That's what scares me. Anything else? Yeah, not so much. But the dentist drill petrifies me.
It's fair enough. It's not like, oh, I see you using that in a book at some point.
I don't know if I could, because I think I'd
live out your fears.
Yeah, I don't. It makes me go already. I can't even watch a video. I'm like, oh, no.
Right, then we shall move on. I don't want you sitting there being uncomfortable. I don't know if I can say. I'll read you Sharon's comment afterwards, because it names your former place of business. So obviously nothing scares you because you worked there.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
There we go. Julie Anderson says, hello, congrats, Donna. You read Julie's book, didn't you? The Midnight Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
excellent.
mentioned it on my video show today as well, because I really liked it.
How are you fitting everything in? Because you started a new job. Congratulations. Right, okay, so degree, new job, debut novel, blog tours. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing things.
Brighton,
of course, which I've never made it to yet, because you keep having it on weekends when I've got stuff going on.
Yeah, next year when I do it, we'll have to make sure that you can come, because I haven't decided a date yet, but I am doing it next year.
Excellent.
And yeah, I just split my day up. I'm like, in the morning I'll write, and then in the evening I'll read, and then sometimes I'm doing some interviews, so then I just stop earlier. And then if I've got to read for a blog tour, then I don't write usually. Yeah, it's fine. I manage.
I don't know how you're juggling everything. I juggle nothing. I just stick to actual paid work most of the time, and then reading for the book club. And then I don't write anything because, like you said, loads of kids. Thousands of them, keeping me busy.
Yeah, big kids. Where you went wrong, you see?
Say that again.
That's where you went wrong.
Keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble, keeping them out of trouble. Tell us about Ramparts. How did that relationship come about?
So that was...
Tell people who Rampart is first.
So they're my publisher. They're brand new. I think I'm the first book that they've published, the first author that they've published. I think they've been around for about a year, so I guess they've been finding their feet. I submitted to them, I think, as one of my last ditch. I've been submitted since June and hadn't got anywhere. And I think I submitted to the last 3 or 4 in about early December. 8 p.m-ish on December the 31st, I got an email saying, we'd like to publish your book. And I just looked at my phone and I was just like, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. And I was so happy. So yeah, that's how that came about.
Oh, this is it. This is where we're both going to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've said we're going to cry, and this is probably the bit.
Yeah, it was. And I've been buzzing ever since. Like nothing beats that. It's been, yeah, just knowing in the background all the time that it's happening. It's definitely happening, you know. And there was a little while where nothing really was going on. I'm not, oh my God, are they going to take it back and stuff? And then he's like, oh, you need to proofread and you need to do this. I'm like, oh, it's still happening, it's fine. Not that I'm insecure or anything.
No, none of us. No, there's no fine. Nothing to see here. How did you find that whole process? Because it's one thing to have written so many words, but then when you have to go back over it and do stuff to it, and you've got people critiquing things, quite an unusual thing, I'd imagine, the first time you go through it. Maybe it never stops being unusual, or maybe you were just fine.
If it was a fair point, then it was fine. Like when I first wrote it, all of my men were handsome Adonises. Apparently, I was like, "Oh right, so that's a bad thing, is it?" Right, okay.
Donna's got a type.
It was what's his name? My brain's gone.
Luke.
Tom Simpson.
Oh, Tom.
Tom
I
read
thought you were going with characters. Sorry, Tom Simpson.
Tom Simpson, and he was like, "Can we have a chubby character, please?" So yeah, that made me laugh as well. But I was like, yeah, okay, that's a fair point. And then generally the stuff was fair points, so it was fine. I didn't mind. You know, I always knew that there's no way that I was going to have written a perfect book the first time, so I was ready. And it wasn't really criticised as such. It was just like this probably needs a bit of tweaking. So I think that probably helped. Yeah, it wasn't really like this bit shit. It was it could just do with rewording, or you just need to not have Adonisis throughout the book. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Tom's not a fan of Adonises, right? Okay. I do have one thing that I think we need to have a serious discussion about.
Oh god.
I don't think what's-its make a crunching noise. Have you any idea which bit I'm referring to?
And you know, it that's me. I cannot stand people eating crisps. I cannot stand the noise.
I can't stand people eating, but I absolutely think quavers or maybe sun bites, they're really crunchy.
But it's the rustling of the packet as well, isn't it? And people
Yeah.
keep just and in a car. Nah. Yeah, that was me writing me my anger of people eating.
Is this you trying to give somebody a hint that you're sick of the noises they make in the car, so they just need to quit it?
No, just get your life actually, please. Just don't eat crisps because my head would explode.
So how long have you been getting feedback for now? So when did your advance copies go out? And that must be quite nerve-wracking when things start going out to the readers.
I can't even tell you, it's
You've
terrible.
seen it really from the other side of things, aren't you, after all the blog tours and all the reviews you've done?
Even today, and people are like, I'm going to read your book. And I'm like, are you? Okay, that's okay. And obviously, it's out now, and that's it. And I'm still like, oh my god, that's so weird. But yeah, sending it for people to read was terrifying, utterly terrifying. I can't even begin to describe. I was like, oh my god, what if it's just completely rubbish and it's a complete mess, and they're going to be too scared to tell me, and I'm going to need to just scrap it and stuff. Yeah, it was unbelievably scary.
But worth every bit of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Just, excuse me, every time I laugh, it's making me choke. Christy is, guys saying Donna is always being interviewed by the police, Christy, because Christy was asking before how you felt being interviewed. So underneath, Christy's replied, Guy Hale, maybe they've seen her internet search history. Now, this is one of Sarah Blackburn's favourite questions to ask. What would your search history say about you? I think you'd be clicking delete a lot and hoping it just disappeared.
I think at the minute it's mostly Amazon, so I've been refreshing all day. But at the minute, I don't think it's really that bad. But when I was writing that book, it was quite bad. There was one bit that I had to research, and that was quite a fun Google search. And then sometimes you search about something, and they're like, "Do you need the Samaritans?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just writing a book. It's chill." They're like, "Big writing." I'm like, "Okay, no, it's fine. I'm cool."
They should literally have a button when that comes up, that little, do you need help? Do you need support? They should have a button that says, no, it's for research. I'm a writer.
Exactly, please. Yeah, because yeah, but Sarah, my search history currently is fine.
You think?
Yeah, it's probably fine.
No, I'm sure we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Graham will help you out. Christy's saying she might write crime, but she couldn't study bugs, they freak her out. With what Christy's written in her books, the bugs are what freak her out.
I know, yeah. Well, it's good to know that she has a limit, because it doesn't seem like there's a limit, so it's good to know that she has a limit.
Do you have a limit? There's some pretty grim stuff in this book. It is not anyone who picks it up thinking, oh, Donna, brilliant, Donna Morfett, right, because it's a really unique name as well, I'd imagine. Like, my name's quite unique with the spelling of it, and you must get that as well. You pick it up thinking, oh, Donna's brilliant, you know, she helps loads of authors. I prefer a bit of cozy, but I'm sure this will be fine. No, no, it won't be. Not if you like cozy.
People, especially my new boss that has known me a few weeks. I'm like, just remember, this isn't me.
Yeah.
It's my brain, which even I worry about sometimes, but it's not me.
It's not a Morfett case study. It is.
It really is fiction, yeah. Yeah.
Christy's saying she's already past the bedtime. I don't know where we've missed a comment there somewhere. I'm not reading that out, guy.
In Brighton, anyway.
Yeah, you've had to talk to us about the dark side of Brighton, because when did you decide to do that, and looking for a venue and all of that stuff? Choosing your authors is never an easy thing.
So the first one I done was in Goldsboro in Brighton, and I had Graham, Ellie, William. No, I didn't have Ellie because she couldn't come, and Tony Forder.
Victoria Salmon. Victoria, you had, didn't you, as well on that one?
Yes.
Are we missing someone?
No, it was supposed to be Ellie, but she couldn't come.
Of course, yeah. And I know how much Tony Forder enjoyed that.
Yeah. But someone came from Wales, Dennis came from Wales to see him, because no one's really met him. I hadn't met him until then. So it was just a little evening, 2 hours in the tiny little Goldsboro bookshop in Brighton. And I quite enjoyed it, and everyone said they did it, so would I do another one? So I was like, I don't know, maybe, and then I did. But that one was easy. Finding a venue was hard, because I wanted to keep it in Brighton. The first one I didn't really realise, but parking in Brighton is insane. Because apparently they're run by the Green Party, so they don't want cars, so then they make parking really expensive. I get that now. But it did. I think I held it in March. The weather was nicer. The authors were fine. I booked authors. Well, actually, I didn't really choose them. They chose me. They just messaged me. I think I put out a message saying I'm doing the event.
Yeah.
And then got inundated with people. And then I just had to try and choose them based on how they fit together for a panel. That was the hardest thing, is putting the panels together.
Yeah.
So there's people that I've had to disappoint a couple of times, actually. So I must make sure that I include them in the next one. But the one in October, my goodness, people were dropping out all the time. I could not sell tickets for love nor money, even though they're quite cheap. I mean, the authors dropping out didn't matter because other people kept stepping in. It was like a constant, just people changing, which was fine. But yeah, that was the headache. So then I was like, yeah, I would have done it again actually, and then everything went insane. So I was like, no, I need a break, but I will definitely do another one next year. And people asking.
I mean, give yourself a break. You have had a lot on. You've had a lot of big changes, and a lot of extra things on your plate as well. So something's got to give somewhere before you give. There's no two ways about it. I mean, we've had conversations, haven't we, before about mental health. Something that we're both very open about, that we've had struggles with things. So it must be a real huge boost to have done this thing that you have set, this target you've set yourself for such a long time, and you're finally here, you've done it. You've got people coming from all over the world here to support you. It's just we just live in the best world, don't we, with the crime fiction bunch?
It's been the most exciting, the most fun, the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Doing my degree was amazing, but this has been better, I think, because I've enjoyed every second of it. Every second.
So do you think you're going to do any future learning?
I'd like to, but it's finding the time.
Oh no, I think we've lost you. If somebody can let me know in the comments if you can still hear me but you can't see Donna. We've managed to get through almost an hour. Oh, you're back. Okay. Could you hear me then?
Yeah.
And you could see me? You had completely frozen, you know, like just before we went live and we were like 5 minutes late starting because you had to move. It was like Challenge Annika finding somewhere you could sit and I could hear you and the internet was fine.
Oh God, no, we're so close.
I'm wondering if anybody else has worn pink. I went and found a pink top to her. It's pinker than it looks on screen. It looks quite pale. It's really not. So I went and found something pink to wear in your honour.
Yeah, I'm really known for that now. It's quite funny. I'm desperate to grow because obviously I have to keep bleaching it. No one believes my hair's naturally brown, but it is. So I have to bleach it, and I wanted to give it a bit of a break. But my goodness, the grey hairs! I was like, no, I'm bleaching it. That's it. When I go to Crime Fest, I'm getting rid of them, and I'm going back to bright pink. And it was.
I'm full of grey hairs. I'm letting it all grow out. Don't know what to do with it anymore, so I just don't want to do anything with it. Don't care.
I'm not ready.
Are you on any panels anywhere? Have you got more interviews coming up where people can watch you?
No, no, not yet. I guess it'll all be next year. I just missed the date, I think, for Crime Fest because my book was out like a week later. But I've applied to be on a panel next year, and no one's asked me. So, but if anyone wants to, then I'd love to.
And how do people get in touch with you if they want to invite you on somewhere?
Email, sort of DonnaMorfett@gmail.com, or Facebook or Twitter, wherever people usually find
That's the thing, yeah. You are pretty easy to track down.
Yeah, just search for the pink hair on my book cover at the minute. But you can find me usually. Yeah, like you say, it's quite a unique name. I'm the only one of me on Facebook, I believe. So yeah, I'm not hard to find.
It seems like an obvious question to ask you, but I think I'm just worried it might be a bit of a difficult question. What have you read recently that you've enjoyed?
It's actually, funny enough, not that hard to question. So, The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godley is.
That's on my list to read.
It's such a gorgeous book. It's my top 10 in the year, no question. I can't really explain. It's beautiful. It's like, I don't know, it's about the era of the Yorkshire Ripper, and yet I loved it. Diary of Lacey Ray by Wes Markham, which isn't out until June. But Lacey Ray is obviously one of his characters in his the Ray series, and he goes back to her childhood, and it's dark because Wes is darker than I am, I think, with his writing. And then the other one was The Midnight Man by Julie.
Which is here behind me. This is the proof that Holbeck sent. Absolutely love this book. Brilliant.
I love the story behind it as well. So yeah, it's one of my top reads of recently.
I wanted to go back to, we started a question before and we've gone off on a tangent, which isn't like us at all. You have some familiar names in your book as characters. So I don't want to say any of the ones that I picked up because I don't know if you've kept any of them secret. Or does everybody know?
Most people know, I think. A couple of people might be surprised, but most people know.
So do you want to talk about the people that you've put in the book?
So I've got Graham in there as a fireman because it amused me. The character reads Tony Forder's books because she genuinely is a fan and she's real, which is Amanda Kelly. What else have I got?
Sharon?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got Sharon.
Claire Birkin?
Claire Birkin, yeah. She knows, yeah. And Helen is my old boss and John is her husband. Lisa Riley is my oldest school friend. She asked me if I put her in the book and I said no, and she's like, that means you have. And I was like, well, no, actually it means no, I haven't. So now I'm going to have to. So I had to go to characters. Andrew, I don't think Andrew's watching. I forgot I'd put Andrew in actually. But my Tales on Tuesday group, actually, there's Darren Walker, John Kirkham, who they changed to Jack, Hayley Bibby, she's from Tales.
No, you've got John Kirkham in your book.
Oh, it is John. They changed it to Jack. They must have changed it back again, so I complained. And then Selfie Ho, I was at uni with. She was my fellow, and she is.
Okay.
I loved my little thing about her in the step. That tickled me when I
I
wrote.
like their little banter, Cora and Seffi's banter.
Yeah, she was my friend at uni. I made myself laugh writing that. I think there's probably more that I can't remember, but yeah, there is quite a few people in there. I needed names; they were there. What can I say? The only person that I really knew was Cora, and then Yvonne was about God knows how many different names before she became Yvonne. She started
So
off,
Yvonne's the victim's wife.
yeah, she started off as Cherry, and then somehow she became Yvonne. I can't even remember.
I think just kind of looking at a character and stuff, and the woman that we, especially at the beginning, the woman we meet, Yvonne sounds much more
Her,
suitable. Yeah, just because it just really fits her personality, that name.
yeah,
That must have been quite a difficult thing, though, coming up with so many names.
it was.
There's a lot of people in this book, and you have got individual names for everyone, so they all kind of stand out from each other.
Yeah,
But that can't be an easy thing. Were there any names that you duplicated without realising?
yeah. There was Darren I put in twice. There must have been a woman's name as well. I can't remember. But yeah, definitely would duplicate because yeah, it's hard, so hard. And when you've got someone in the beginning and they're not really in it again, and then after, oh, I've used that name already. I need to
Get an A4 pad and a list. Get a whiteboard at the side of you.
spreadsheet. I'm on the move.
You're on the move again. I just want to say thank you to Karen McKinley because she could hear us both before. I didn't know if you could hear me or not when you'd gone off my screen. So I've got the storytellers up there. I don't know if you can kind of, which one is it? It's
She
there. That is the storytellers, which is one of my favourite books ever.
Yeah.
I love Karen McKinley.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, isn't she? Yeah,
She really is.
Yeah.
We are coming up to the end of our hour.
That's gone so quick.
I always think these things go quickly, but this time it's like we've been sat here for 5 minutes and like, oh, it's gone. We've not managed to get through all of the comments, but I'm sure you're going to go back through and have a look at some point. I've just spotted one from Kat Yaff. Hope you've had the most incredible day. Congrats on everything.
Oh.
We really are among the best people, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't have asked for more support.
No. When I took over Linda's group this morning, she messaged me and Sharon messaged me. And Linda said, you haven't just taken over my group, you've taken over Facebook. It's like, Facebook is just full of you. And then Sharon said to Paige, she's like, you're everywhere.
Job done. This is what publication day is all about, getting you and your book out there.
Yeah.
Check, done. Right, I will quickly go out of the comments because there's been some Facebook issues. They don't like us using different software and we have to use different software and blah, blah. So I'll go into that because that is the only way I can see the cover. I can't. I'm kind of... It's just shining off the... I have a ring light that makes me look a bit younger. It's just shining on the phone.
Yeah, it's quite a cover, isn't it? So
give everyone a recap of what they're going to go and buy if they've not bought it already.
So The Disappearance of Peter Markham is the first in a series, hopefully. D.I. Cora Snitton and Luke and Darcy go and investigate a local businessman called Peter Markham that's gone missing. When they start to investigate, they realise that he's not the man that he's portrayed himself to be and wonder if the reason that he has gone missing is revenge.
Is that as easy to do as you've made it look, or have you been practicing?
I've been practicing because Baz Khan said to me at Crime Fest, what's your book about? So I said, and he's like, yeah, that's shit, you need to work on that. So it's like,
I love us.
People are going to ask you what your book's about and you're going to need to do better than that. And I was like, right, okay.
Constructive criticism, I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been working on it a lot. And yeah, so now I can say it and it seems fine. But yeah, it was like, oh,
Thank you so much. I am so thrilled that you chose to come to us for publication day,
oh, thanks.
because you are a huge supporter of the UK Crime Book Club. You've been to the events. You always come and kind of watch, the interviews, and you're just a phenomenal supporter of authors. So I could not be more thrilled for you that you're finally having your day. And how we haven't cried yet,
I
I
know.
think we've both done rather well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go stop in the corner now.
Thank you to everybody who's come along to watch and support Donna tonight. Please go and buy a copy if you haven't. Tell your friends, buy your nan a copy. Depends on her penchant for gore.
Yeah,
There is gore. It's very good. But I think we'll be staying friends for a long time, Donna. Don't think I'll be getting on the wrong side of you.
I don't think I said that.
Yeah, now they really mean it. But thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us. Thank you for coming, and come back for book 2. Can't wait.